Whiskey friends, far and wide, we are live. It is Tasty Tuesday once again. I am Eric, your humble malt muser, and we got some excellent whiskey chat coming your way. I got a whiskey that I'm going to taste with y'all tonight. I will be joining Telex the Whiskey Tech later on. I'll set all of that up for y'all relatively soon. But before we begin, let me say hello to the early folks in the chat. Already getting things going. What's up, everybody? First in the door tonight, it's Mr. Gerbic coming from Jupiter, Florida, saying good evening. Hello to you, sir. Enjoying an Edgedour 10 years old tonight. Good choice. That's pretty apropos to what we're going to be talking about. Alberta, Canada's in the house. It's Ben Demon Hunter. Supper time. Cheers to you, sir. Folks saying hi. Northern California, Donner Pass. Whiskey. He is here. How are you doing, Donner Pass? Good to see you. East Texas. It's Daniel H. Yes, happy St. Andrew's Day to you, too. If there's any Scots in the house, especially, send that to you guys. Cool. Yeah, I've been playing around with some of the features here. Thanks to folks on Patreon and some of these super chats, I've done a little upgrading to the StreamYard tool, so we'll see how it works. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to put some final tweaks on it, but pretty cool so far. I was playing with some of these neat features. You did just get an intro. Yes, you did just get an intro. Yeah, I threw something together. This is one of the things that they unlock when you become a paying StreamYarder. So we'll see if it's worth it. Play around with it for a while. And the ticker, yeah, hopefully to get some good information down there for everybody. Donner Pass, Aaron 18 in the glass. That is fantastic. I'm jealous of you, sir. I have not yet got my hands on that. It's rather elusive around these parts. I've not been able to get my my hands on it, or even have seen it for that matter, which is kind of annoying. Somewhere outside Moline, Illinois, Chris S. is in the house. What's up, Illini? How are you, man? Good to see you. Montreal, Quebec. It's Paul. How you doing, Paul? Good to see you, sir. Awesome. We got 7 folks in already, which is great. Just killed my first bottle and probably the last of the Ardbeg 5-year Wee Beastie. Yeah, it's like, it's fine, but why not just pay a few more bucks and get yourself a 10-year? That's the way I felt about it. I think I did a review of that. Man, that was a little bit of a ways back. But that was my sentiment exactly. It was cool that they put an age statement on it and, kept it with an integrity bottling. You really don't see that nearly as often as you'd want to, but the whiskey still was the whiskey after all. Yeah, exactly. All right, y'all. So let me set things up. We got a few hours of whiskey chat coming. So here on Happy Hour, I am going to crack open a bottle I haven't had in quite some time. We're going to taste and chat about Ballechin straight from the cask. This is a 10-year-old oloroso sherry matured, 60.3% on the ABV on this. So it is coming in hot and heavy. So we'll talk all about Ballechin, Edgedour, and that entire range. We'll do a little taste of that. Probably get into another sample. And then at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 Central, we're going to head on over to Telex the Whiskey Text channel. I will drop the link down in the comments. We are going to be doing some Ben Romics this evening, including the Ben Romic 21 years old and the Ben Romic 10-year-old Imperial Proof. So we got 2 Ben Romics. I think we might actually do the regular 10 as well. We'll see. So there might be 3 Ben Romics. So we're going to get into that. If you've been following the channel for some time, You would know that is one of my favorite distilleries that I've been getting into as of late. So leave a comment in the chat, smash that like, subscribe if you haven't. Let's get into this. Donner Pass, fan of the Ballechin Sherry. Yeah. You and me both, brother. I've been really impressed with these in the past. Warming up a dram of the Oogie. Can't go wrong with that, Paul. And we got 9 folks in now, which is awesome. Great to see folks hopping in the chat tonight on the last day of November. St. Andrew's Day. Okay. So let's get into this. Featured whiskey tonight is Ballechin. This is a straight from the cask bottling, as I mentioned. This is 10 years old. It was bottled February 18th, 2020, distilled the 12th of August, 2009. It's natural color. It's cask strength. It's 60.3% ABV. And it comes with a rather interesting presentation. Stout little blue box here. Slide this thing open. And here is our bottle. And interesting, I remember actually when I moved from Philadelphia to Chicago, I wrapped this up because I was afraid it was going to leak. It looks like I have not had any since, which is one of the reasons we want to have a chat about this tonight. So let me get this thing open and get some in the glass. Ballechin. Okay. I was warming up with one of my favorite whiskeys that I've had this year. Napoke Castle, 14-year-old twin wood bourbon cask, sherry cask Irish whiskey. Really, really damn good stuff. So let's get some of this in a nice, fresh Glencairn and give you a little bit of chat about Ballechin. So first and foremost, here's this stout bottle. Now, every Ballechin you might find, and if you're in the United States, you probably won't find many outside of a rather specialty liquor store. Ballechin is a heavily peated line that comes out of the Edgerdur distillery, known for their heavy sherry matured whiskey. Interesting thing about Edgerdur is that they are actually a distillery owned by an independent bottler. And I think they are the only one. Signatory, who does a bunch of different independent bottlings of single malts, actually owns and operates the Edgerdur distillery, which puts out the Edgerdur and Ballechin lines. I'm trying to think if there's any other examples. Ben Romick might be the only other one, which we're going to be talking about later tonight, who is owned by Gordon MacPhail, which is also an independent bottler. On the flip side, there is a distillery, Springbank, which owns a independent bottler, Cadenheads. So there's a little bit of overlap in some of these indie bottlers, along with the traditional distillery single malts. So you'll find Ballechin's or Edgerdurs, for that matter, in a variety of different looking bottles. There are the regular released distillery bottlings. There are the independent bottlings. You'll find them from Signatory, obviously. Sometimes you'll find them, I think, from a couple other independent bottlers too, if I'm not mistaken. This one in particular is a distillery release, but it's one of their cask strength, straight from the cask type releases. These, for the most part, not super are easy to get your hands on in the United States, but you can find them overseas. They have a bunch of different finishes. Usually, you'll find your bourbon and your sherry finishes. This one is a oloroso sherry matured, so full maturation in sherry. If you've had Edgerdur before, this color will not surprise you because it looks damn close and very similar to what you expect out of Edgerdurs. So the interesting thing about these, they do have a variety of other maturations. I'll show you just for context sake. Here's another Ballechin I have. Again, see, totally different looking bottling. This is an 11-year-old bourbon cask matured, different bottle completely. This is also a cask strength, but it's not called straight from the cask. there you go. You will usually find signatory independent bottlings of these, though. So this is the heavily peated one. This is a Highland malt. It's not an Islay malt. And let's see what else. So for those keeping score at home, this is cask number 183. Outturn is 979 bottles. So not a ton came out of this 2020 release of the 10. So let me know in the chat. Let's get things rolling. Are you a fan of Edgedour or Ballechin? You got any at home? Any you recommend? Are you not a fan? Let us know why. Let me catch up here on the chat and see what is going on. We got 13 folks in, which is great. Awesome to see folks coming in. Yes, I concur. Kenneth, what's up, buddy? How are you? Happy Tasty Tuesday, man. Great to have you in the house. He says he found the Octomore 12.2 and the 12.3 tonight. Didn't buy either, debating it. Now, the 12.2, if I'm not mistaken, is a 5-year-old Sauternes cask, and the 3, I'm guessing, is an Islay Barley Bourbon cask, but I'm not sure. In years past, particularly like with the 10 line from a couple years ago, I really enjoyed the 0.3s, the Islay Barley releases of Octomore. The 0.2s are a lot of fun, but they're really hard to get your hands on. A lot of them have been travel exclusives, although I don't know if that's the case all the time. So if you, if you like Sauternes, I'm pretty sure that's a Sauternes release this year. Might be worth getting your hands on, but go for the tried and true 0.3 if you're looking for something a little bit more predictable. Yeah, I agree. Donner Pass says there are great indie Ballechin bottles out here too. Yeah, I totally agree. At Malt Muser, crazy color. All those Edgedour and Ballechin sherry casks are always super dark. Yes, they are. That's full maturation on these two. I'm assuming they use first fill to get this color because it's a natural color. Now, while it doesn't say non-chill filtered on here, which is a little bit disappointing, I'm very confident that they do not chill filter this, but it would be nice if they just put it on the label. But they do say natural color and cask strength. So there you go. These are 500 ml bottles straight from the cask series. Donner Pass, Ben Romick is owned by yes. Gordon McPhail. Southern California, it's Cohen. What's up, Muser and the Malt Mongrels? Yes. Sorry about that beatdown we put on your Rams, man, but you knew that was coming. Edgedour and Ballechin also do cask strength store picks. Good to know. Cohen says Adelphi owns Ardmaturin. Okay, that I did not know that. Learn something new every day. Ontario, Canada, Peter White. They're all over Alberta as well. That is good to know. So we're spanning the gamut. Some folks seem to get their hands on them, see them all over. Paul up in Montreal doesn't see these. It's weird. In the States, there's a couple releases you can find. You can get the Edgedour 10, you can get the Edgedour 12 Caledonia, and then there's like a Ballechin 10, and then sometimes indie bottlings here and there from Signatory, but not like you can when you look overseas. So if you look at some of those UK websites that ship, you can find a lot, which is where I got this one. One of the biggest recommendations I'd say on Edgedour is finding the cask strength Madeira matured single cask. Insane. I wonder if this one might be what you're talking about. This is an Edgedour 12 years old, single cask. Specs, Texas. Wonder where that came from. Might have been down your way. Madeira cask matured. So got to put a little dent in this one. Very good stuff. So, yeah, I mean, generally speaking, I think particularly the sherry line, Edgedour and the peated version Ballechin, they're some of the best sherry single malts. I mean, they're up there with Tamdu, and the older Glendronachs, in my opinion, is like the quintessential sherry matured whiskeys. San Francisco Bay, Gary K is in the house. What up, Gary? Good to see you, sir. Delphi Ben Nevis, Kalila, the first fill oloroso. Yeah, I think I saw your email about that. I am quite jealous. You can order from the UK. The Edgewater Natural Casting 12 Sherry casks are my favorite. That's good to know. Yes, Edgewater 21 special release cask strength. They were. I think Telex and I actually did a tasting of one of those 21-year-olds. He gave that a 5 out of 5. I mean, that was one of his top whiskeys ever. And I was not far behind him on that. That was a really fantastic pour. At Malt Muser, yeah, buddy, we have the same bottle. I forgot yours was Specs from down here. Yes, for some reason there's a Specs down in Texas gets their hands on the Edgewater's and the Ballechin's like crazy. One of the few places in the States. Anyways, okay, so here we go. We're going to get things rolling here. 60.3% ABV on this heavily peated, full sherry, oloroso sherry matured Ballechin. Again, a bottle of this, these straight from the cask, without shipping costs can be debatable. Depends where you get it from. These are in that like $90 to $100. Depends, so it really depends on where you order it from. Here we go. So right away on the nose on these, it's really interesting. The heavy peat is there, but this is not your earthy, marine type Lagavulin or Ardbeg. It's not the kind of hospital antiseptic iodine stuff you get from Lafroig. It's a much meatier, if that makes any sense. It almost has a savory quality to it. It's not smoky per se. You're not getting a lot of like billowing peat smoke. What you are getting is just a heavy, dense, concentrated note, which has that kind of edgy freshness of peat. This smells like barbecue to me. There is elements of sweetness, dark red fruit. I'm just going to smooth this around a little bit. It tastes like a very heavy, formidable whiskey, which it should at 60.3% ABV, for Christ's sake. And you get a little deeper, though. There's some light floral notes. You get a little bit of like a honey and almost vanilla. But really, the savory element of this is dominant. There's cinnamon, like red hot cinnamon candy, very dark red fruits, dried fruit. So you're getting kind of a savory is the dominant, with a bit of sweetness and some spice. All in all, very nice. I mean, this, I can tell you right now, for a 10-year-old whiskey, this can compete with any peated sherry from Islay. It just doesn't have that marine quality, that dried seaweed, that saltiness, that brininess, that iodine note that you expect out of things like Lafroig. All right, very heavy rinsed concentrated whiskey. I mean, it almost makes me think that this must be like what a heavily peated Mortlach would smell like. Anyways, I'm going to give this a taste here. Cilantro, y'all. Happy Tasty Tuesday. Here we go. Fantastic. Just fantastic. There's a really nice, I mean, this is 60%, 60.3%. And I'm telling you, you can sip this neat without it blowing, making you wince. medium to medium high viscosity. Immediately you're hit with kind of a slight bitterness, a slight sour. You get a nice rush of red fruit. The peat hits, and it hits in the form of, again, effervescent, kind of drying, but not tannic. Really heavy, again, dried red fruit. You're thinking like Christmas baking spices kind of stuff. There's hints of dark chocolate. There's hints of butterscotch. There's hints of oak as it goes into kind of a medium finish. Interesting finish. I start getting these like notes of like overripe red grapes. There's almost a port quality to this. Finish is, it's a little bit on the oaky drying side. It could, I think water is going to help with this. The finish is probably the weakest link in this whiskey, but definitely in the savory side. Smoked, not even smoked meat, like grilled, like a grilled steak. You get that kind of mouth-watering savoriness. Despite its full flavor, it doesn't stick around as long, and it doesn't have as many waves of kind of, when you go into the finish, different waves of different flavor that pop up and kind of overtake it for a little while. And I think that has something to do with the age on this. I mean, this is a 10-year-old whiskey. Let's go with some water. I'm going to do 2 teaspoons on this. I really am curious to see what else we can pull out of this. It's not the most complex whiskey. It's just doing really great with what it does. So with water, it actually has a little bit of a freshness. Almost soapy. Don't take that. It's not as bad as it sounds, but there's a little soapiness to this. Honey, almond. Like a nice kind of buttery roasted nut type thing going on now. The nose is still just fantastic. Complex, intriguing. Again, the savory sweet have come in a little bit more balance here. The sweetness is coming through a bit more. Starting to get like lighter red fruit. Maybe even like hints of strawberry kind of stuff. Boy, I would love to see this at like a 15 or 18-year-old age statement. God damn. Impressive. The sherry notes that you're getting off this do remind me of like a Glendronach. I mean, remove the peat aside, this has that kind of deep blackberry kind of jammy quality that you get out of some of the old Glendronach releases. Take a look at the Scotch mist level here. Not noticing too much. Again, I can't imagine that they would chill filter this, but they do not say otherwise on here, so I guess we have to assume they do, which is just bizarre. It does not say. I really wish it did. Let me just take another look at this little slidey box here. Yeah, there's nothing else on here to indicate this 2009 straight from the cask. Yeah, I look. This is why disclosure is so damn important for whiskey heads who give a shit about these things. Just put it on the label. I mean, why would they chill filter a cask strength whiskey at this level? I don't know, and I can almost guarantee that it's not. But boy, it would just be nice if they told you. And I'm not, not getting much mist on this. Oh, as it opens up though, fresher red fruits. all with this concentrated kind of nutty earthiness of the peat. And again, this is not smoky. This isn't that billowing, beach bonfire type stuff. You can detect a little bit of its youth, which comes in that kind of sweet barley note, which is poking through here, which honestly I like. What it does is it gives it character. I mean, sometimes you drink some of these heavily sherry matured whiskeys. I'm thinking of things like Aberlour, where all you taste is the sherry. This has some character. Almost in the like Glen Scotia type. Starting to get a nice, almost like strawberry licorice Twizzler type note. Quite enjoyable. And again, really kind of tame for a 10-year-old 60% ABV, which again, I think is a testament to just the quality of the casks they're using here. They really impart enough flavor that kind of rounds off some of the rougher edges you'd expect at this ABV. All right, here we go. Boy, oh boy. The water is extending that development. A bit more raw when the peat hits it. You're just not getting those barrel influences that would kind of round off the peat a bit on it. Like it's pretty raw, oaky peat, dark red fruits in the background. We're talking like hints of apple, blackberry, raspberry. That almond note's still there. Finish is extended a lot with the water. This definitely, no surprise here. Water is going to make this a stronger drink for sure. All in all, pretty impressive. The thing about that Ballechin and Azure Dwarf for that matter, you're just not going to find in the market these days the quality level that these folks are putting out. You may have to pay a little bit more for it and get it overseas. If you're not fortunate enough to be in an area in the States that is bottling any of these kind of independent versions. Again, Signatory is the owner of this distillery. Just for continuity's sake, just so I can give you guys the best info, because I didn't look it up beforehand. Let me just see what prices kind of come up for this. I mean, yeah, okay, you're getting a nice little hint of mint at the back of this. You're around $115. Okay, so I mean, you're paying a bit more than even you would for like a Lafroig 10 cask strength or something like that. But look, I really do think this is a standout whiskey in its craft. That alone might make this worth it. I do think, however, a little age on this particular release would go really, really far. I would love to drink this at even at 12 years, maybe even, 15 if it was affordable. But look, I think if you like a nice heavily peated sherry whiskey, look for the Ballechin Olorosos. I'm going to be pretty generous on this and go with I think I'm right around debating between 3.75 and a 4. I think I'm going to sit with a 3.75 on this. So good score, great whiskey. These are something to look out for. Now, again, you are only getting the 500 ml bottle. You can get these pretty readily in the UK. They'll ship to almost any state. You can find a website that'll do it. Again, they have a lot of different maturations. They have a Bordeaux. They have a Sauternes. They have bourbon cask. They have a bunch of different ones. it's just really quality whiskey. I think the only thing holding this one back is the finish, which I find to be a little lacking. I think that the peat level of this hits so hard, and again, not in a smoky way. It just hits so much that it dries you out, and not in a tannic way. It just kind of like leaves this vacancy where you'd like a kind of creamier finish that would take you somewhere that would make you want to grab another sip. This one, it doesn't make me necessarily want to drink more. But I do appreciate it every time I pick it up. So we're going to sit at 3.75 out of 5 on this. Respectable score. Ballechin 10-year-old, straight from the cask, 2009. 10 years old. 60.3% cask strength. Oloroso sherry, matured. What do y'all think? Have you had this before? We are at the bottom of the hour, so just a quick reminder. Telex and I will be getting together tonight. I will drop the link in the chat right around 9 Eastern, 8 Central. We're going to be checking out Ben Romick, one of my favorite distilleries of 2021. We're going to be doing the 21-year-old. We're also going to be doing an older one, the Ben Romick 10 Imperial Proof, and potentially the regular Ben Romick 10. So we'll be chatting Ben Romick. Let me get back into the chat. See what's going on with folks. Yeah, buddy, we have the same bottle. Okay. Caledonia. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the Madeira. Caledonia 12 available in Quebec, 125 Canadian. That's a really good bottle, but oh, fuck. I only have a 1973. That's it? Come on, Gary. Get with the program, man. That's all you have is a 73? Come on. Meaty is exactly what I was thinking of when I tried some of the wine matured Ballechin's. Dry rub barbecue. Yeah, definitely. Editor is a Campbelltown distillery in the Highlands. Funky, funky, funky. Donner Pass. If I could just highlight what Donner Pass just said right there. Absolutely. I think while I was going through this, I kind of mentioned that it has a little bit of a Glen Scotia-esque quality to it. You should. You definitely should. I highly recommend it. They make good stuff. Daniel, first Ballechin was the Burgundy cask, one of the best things I ever tasted. Yeah, 12-year-old. I'd love to get this just a little bit older. This is a little bit too on the cloying, sour, bitter side for me, but it's still really good. Hey, look who's here. Beaming his signal from Victoria, British Columbia. It's the Quig. I just looked through my old videos. It appears I have not tasted any Ballechin. Well, sir, as folks may know, Quig and I have been swapping samples for years. And when I put together your next box, Mr. Quig, I will put some Ballechin in it for you. Indeed, all in due time. Manchester area in the UK. Alan, the whiskey friend. What's up, brother? Good to see you, sir. Happy St. Andrews. Nice to have you in the house. Got an Indie Ballechin 12 second fill sherry, about another 90 minutes after the bottle. It was that good. Seems like a lot of love coming in for these 12-year-old Ballechin's. I might have to spend a little more money. Folks saying hi to our good friend Alan. Sipping some Glen Scotia Victoriana. Art. That is an art, that bottle. Arthur, what's up? Great to have you, sir. I wonder how similar is the Lefroy Carchis PX to this. Sweeter, smokier. I probably would grab the Lefroy PX over this just because I like how the maturation works. So, yeah, I like the triple maturation of the Carchis. I like the bourbon cask, the use of the quarter cask to kind of give it some body and some heft, and then the sweetness of that PX. I'm a big fan of the new Carchis. I think I've said this a couple times before, so people are going to get annoyed of hearing it, but I think it's the best Carchis release Lefroy has put out since the 2018 Pheno. So I would lean towards that. So, price too. I mean, they're a horse a piece really, but Cartus is a little cheaper. Agreed. Oh, awesome. Well, it's great to have you. Rick Montmuser. Yeah, cheers to you, Ben. Better than the Balvenie Week of Pete. Oh, man, that's tough. I really like the Balvenie Week of Pete. It's not as intense as this. Obviously, this is 15% more ABV almost. I might put this a tick below it just because. Look, I think the only thing this whiskey is suffering from is its youth. The nose makes you think you're in for a huge, huge treat. But as it goes on, it starts to drift too much into the oaky, kind of bitter, savory side of things, which is not completely balanced with what I would want. I mean, it is oloroso, so it makes sense. I mean, this in a PX, maybe. It's damn good. It really is. It's kind of one of these whiskeys that starts here, just kind of slowly. Good stuff. I respect it. I really like Edgeador. I really like Ballechin. I just think a little more age on this one. This bottle at that $100-some price point is just not quite what I want, but it's damn close. Still 3.75 out of 5. I think a respectable score. Folks saying hi to each other. A couple of drams. Then some drams. Quigster. Shit, man. Quig and I usually do about 3 live streams. Yeah, about 3 live streams a year, and I think we're close to overdue. Quig, I don't know. Maybe we should chat about putting something together sometime this week since you're off work. I'll message you. I'll shoot you an email. Oh, yeah. Oh, that is, I love that. I love that bottle. Had I not reviewed it so late in the year and been so dead set on my whiskeys, my top 5 last year, that would have been in it. In fact, that could have almost won it. That bottle is incredible. I love that stuff. All right, let me keep going. Balvenie needs to drop everything they're doing except for the ton batches and just become a peated distiller. I don't know about that. They make so much good non-peated whiskey. Geez, the Doublewood 17. Although actually, I'm not even sure they make that anymore. That Sweet Toast of American Oak was a little bit debatable. It was okay. You can talk about an easy drinker. Folks chatting with Ben Demon Hunter, Scotia. Got a Yamazaki and a Kushu NAS yesterday. Miyagiku and Yoichi first, then I had to get these. All right. You got the Hakushu, what's it called? The Distiller's Select or Distillery Release, Distiller's Edition? Be curious to hear about that one. All right, show. So Patreons, just to let you know, you should have already a link to my review, which is coming out Friday, of Highland Park 15 Viking Heart. So if you haven't checked that out, please do. And everybody else, you can expect that on Friday, unless you join Patreon now, which you can do. No pressure. What I'm going to do is we still have about 20 minutes left here on the happy hour before I head to Telex's channel. Like I said, I will drop the link in the chat. for that, really enjoyed revisiting this Ballechin. This is something I definitely want to give out to a few folks to taste, because I'll be curious if everybody has a similar experience. Strangely, like, it's really, really accessible, even neat at 60-some% ABV. But, you know, you want just a little bit more for the price, I suppose. Daniel says, Balvenie 17 is legit. So are the other bottles. And maybe slash their prices are not a little bit nutty. Yeah. The other one, though, I mean, is the 15 single barrel and the 15 single barrel sherry and the 12 single barrel bourbon cask. I think are both really, really good. Peter White. Yeah, it's sad. But there you go. So since Quig is here, I think I'm going to have a Quig pour. I do have a bunch of samples. I know I did a live stream a while back of some of these Quig samples that were sent my way. I think what I'm going to do here, to give an honor, an homage to our good friend here, is, let's see, something in the sherry realm. All right, let's see. Here we go. We're going to do a sample here. This was from Food Quig. This is J.P. Weiser's 22-year-old French oak ruby port, cask strength, 59%. All the good stuff. Something tells me I can't go wrong with this. Now, J.P. Weiser's Canadian whiskey, for those who don't know, not exactly a distillery. You can get your hands on any good stuff, really. Here in the United States, you'll find some, J.P. Weiser's 18, which bourbon cask, not that great. Every once in a while, you'll see some of the other younger ones here in the U.S., but, we can't get crap for good Canadian whiskey here in the United States. This smells like I just walked into an Italian restaurant. There's a spicy herbaceousness to this. Wow, that's good. The port is subtle. The French oak is subtle. It's all kind of working together. Quick says, Davey Silas. This is... There's an herbaceousness to this that I really am thrown by. Sweetness, it's there, but I'm telling you, the overpowering red fruits of a port, not there. The French oak is a little bit stronger than the port, so you're getting some hints of like almond, vanilla, chocolate, things like that. A lot going on in this nose. Let's give it a taste. Let me know in the chat. What are you guys all sipping on? I don't know, but this is great. Long development. Sweet toffee, red fruit, dark fruit. Hints of tropical fruit. Oh, man. Let me just reread this again. J.P. Weiser's 22 years old cask strength French oak ruby port finish. This is the first time I've ever had a French oak ruby port combination, and it is working amazingly. Creaminess, density. Oh, Jesus, man. This is like, if I was going to compare this to a scotch, this reminds me of like a Glengarry. it has that kind of just rich, almost confectionery sweetness to it that honestly, I mean, I think this actually beats a Glengarry 12 for sure. Wow. Oh, there's like a nice honey zestiness to it as well. This is way better than the Ballechin. And that Ballechin was good. Holy shit, Quig. Jersey's in the house. It's Andrew Page. Klein Leash 14 in the glass. Excellent. Oh, he's poured the new ECBP. Excellent, man. Let me know what you think. I just posted my review of that a couple days ago. That was a good one. And we got 19 folks in. Great. Super cool to hang out with everybody, man, on this last Tuesday of November. Can you believe we're almost already through 2021? Jesus Christ. This is special, though. JP Weiser's 22 port, French oak port finish cast strength, 59.7. Yo. Peter White or Ben Demon Hunter or Quig. Oh, what does a bottle of this go for? This is one of the better whiskeys I've ever had. This French oak port combination is wow. Milk chocolate. This finish is just going on forever. I think this might be this honestly beats. I mean, Quig has sent me some amazing Canadian whiskey samples over the years. And you can go back and look at some of my unboxings of some of the things that have made their way to me. This might take the cake. God, speaking of cake, there's like a red velvet cake quality to this. Cream cheese frosting. What is this? Here it is. In Search of Elegance. Shit. I don't know if I can get my hands on it. Holy cow. Yeah, here it is. French Oak X Ruby Port. This is coconut. Nice. That's awesome, Ben. Yo. This is a good bottle objectively. But as far as my palate is concerned, this is something special. It's a combination of like richness and kind of decadent chocolate fudgy notes and a surprising amount of complexity to match it with this kind of fruity undertone. Plum, cinnamon spice, cedar. There's so much going on in this. Yo, that's the incredible price. Hundreds of bottles still in Ontario. That might be the first time I ever said, take me to the LCBO. Wow. This is the Scotch equivalent of this is like a Glengarry. That's the way I would put it. This is like a Glengettie 12 but again, way more age, much more rounded, much more decadent and indulgent. So much happening in this. I can't even. The water even like lightens it up a little bit, brings forward a more orange kind of wow. What a journey. It starts kind of sweet and light and then just gets progressively darker, more robust. It moves from kind of lighter sweet fruits to medium fruits. We're talking like pear, golden apple, to like dark, heavy kind of chocolate cordial, coconut, dark chocolate, oak. This is really good. Yo, I mean, you're completely right. Americans' views of Canadian whiskey are very stunted and honestly kind of I mean, I'll just say it. Most people don't have any respect for Canadian whiskey in the US because all we get is, Crown Royal, every once in a while, Seagram's, Canadian Mist, low-end Canadian Club, low-end JP Weisers. Every once in a while, you find a bottle of Lot 40, the regular, not the cask strength. You'll find a bottle of like, let me think now. Pike Creek, but it's a low-end one. We just don't get. It's similar for our folks and our friends in Canada who can't get their hands on good bourbon. You can only play on the field that is in front of you. I'll tell you right now, what he's saying, what they were saying around $150 Canadian for this. I mean, I would buy 3 bottles of this. This is better than the Canadian Club 43-year-old Chronicles that Quig gave me. This is, for me, this is a 4.5 whiskey. Absolutely stunning. Decadent, well-rounded. At almost 60%, I'm telling you, this goes down like water. Well, let me rephrase that. It doesn't go down like water. It goes down without any edge to it. What a whiskey. God, it's like Nutella. Oh, shit. I'm looking forward to that. Excellent. Yeah. Yeah, Daniel's on the ECB, the new CBP. Yeah, it's good. I mean, I wish you guys could get your hands on it. I try to send samples up to Quig whenever we do our swaps. I know I didn't last time. I'm going to make sure I get him another one in the next batch. What are you going to do? It's so bizarre. I mean, it's not like it's coming from fucking India. Yeah, huge oak. Yeah. I'm curious though, do you find if you remember back to the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof C920, I felt like that one was oaky as well, but this one I felt was more rounded. Like you got the sweetness and stuff kind of came through. I think this one was a little tick ahead for me. I still think the A batch is my favorite, but this is right there. I think I gave this a 4.25. Yeah, Shelter Point. I've had some decent ones there. Nothing that's blown my mind yet. But I mean, I honestly, thanks to Quig, I have a fucking at least 5 or 6 more Shelter Points I gotta work my way through. So yeah. We'll get there. Okay, so we got about 5 minutes before we're all going to migrate over for Tellington Malt Show. And it looks like the link is up. Let me get that in the chat for y'all. Like I said, we are doing Ben Romick 10, Ben Romick Imperial Proof, and Ben Romick 21 years old. It's been a while since Telex and I have got together, so I want to make sure you all get an opportunity. Open up another window. That'll be the link. I'll be joining my good friend Telex the Whiskey Tech for our Telex and Malt Show tonight. Before you leave, do smash that thumbs up. And subscribe if you haven't. Would love to have you on. And also, leave a comment. Any feedback on, I upgraded the StreamYard. We had the intro, we had the scroll thing with information, all this. Good, bad, and different? Let me know. Y'all support me a lot, so I want to make sure I, use it wisely, as it were. Anyways, I'm, 2 brewers. He's got 2 brewers here for me as well. Let me just look here quick which one it is. Well, it's buried back there somewhere. Anyways, so Telex and I are going to be getting into Ben Romick tonight. Again, this is one of my dark horse distilleries. If you've not had it, you're going to be able to learn a lot about this distillery with Telex and I. If you have had it, we're going to be sampling a couple different malts that you may be familiar with, maybe not. We got the 21. We got the Imperial Proof 10-year-old. And we have the good old 10. So we're going to have a couple different ones to taste tonight. Link is in the chat. I hope you guys can join us with for this Ben Romick tasting. I am a big fan of this distillery. In fact, I would argue that they're probably this year have been the distillery that I've explored the most. Maybe with a close second being my good old Standby Glenmorangie. Going into 2022, starting to feel the Bruichladdich vibe. So you may be seeing a bit more Bruichladdich releases. I just got a couple new ones recently. I'm very excited to try. Because, gotta follow your passions. I think 2 years ago it was Glen Scotia. This year, Bruichladdich. Gotta follow your passion. Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Anyways, Telex and I'm waiting to see the message from him. Let me drop this link in the chat one more time for y'all. We are going to head over there in a couple of minutes. Here is that link again. And please hit that thumbs up on the way out. As for this JP Weisers, again, this is a 4.25 up for me. With upside. The French oak, I think I'm a sucker for French oak. But with the port, the French oak and the port, god damn. Quig, can you get more of this? This is fucking great. Really enjoying it. Anyways, I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving for my U.S. folks. I personally did. And, we're heading into the holiday season. Can you believe it? We're about to close out another year. We'll do it with great whiskey. I have another whiskey review jumping up this Friday, Highland Park 15 Viking Heart. So make sure you check that out. And with that, I am going to give you this link one more time and get myself ready for the Telex and Malt Show. See you there. If I don't, everybody stay safe, be well, wear a mask, don't get COVID before Christmas, and we'll see you next week. Sláinte.